Let's make the Duncan Hines classic yellow cake. It's vanilla flavor, so I'm going to use the 5.9 ounce container of vanilla pudding. First hack to make your cake mix, cake taste better. The ingredients call for 1 cup of water. We're going to use 1 cup of milk instead. Calls for 3 eggs. We're going to use 6 eggs, half a cup of vegetable oil. We're going to double it and make it melted butter. So 1 cup of melted butter. While the butter is melting, I'm going to mix everything else together. Here's the cup of milk. And it's 2% milk, because that's what we have. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of vanilla. I'm not going to add 2 tablespoons of my frosting because it'll make it chocolate. We want it to be yellow. I'm going to add a little bit creme bouquet. Not a capful. And then let's add the eggs. I'll add them from over here so I won't be blocking the camera. And I have my trash can over here to my left. That's where I'm throwing the eggshells. That was 3. And these are large eggs. So 6 large eggs. Get all this mixed together. You gotta mix your eggs together before you add the melted butter, or it'll might cook the eggs, and you don't want that. I'm gonna check on the butter, put the vanilla up. Okay, I'm gonna scrape the sides a little bit before I add the butter. And the bottom, because see, I can tell it hasn't been getting to the bottom really well. I'm gonna add the butter. I'm gonna stir it up a little bit, because if I don't, it's going to splash all over. Yeah, it's hot. I literally just melted it. So we're gonna see what that does, because I had a hell of a day. Make sure everything is mixed together. Get as much of this off the attachment as I can. Okay, unplug it. Move this out of the way. I got my bump pan already. I sprayed it. Okay. Let's pour the batter in. This is actually the first time I made the classic yellow Duncan Hines cake. I've done the lemon, red velvet. First time making a yellow box cake. I've also done German chocolate and marble, but never the lemon. I also have a white cake mix down there. I need to make that one day too. I keep hitting that, getting batter on my hand. Let me wipe my hand off. Okay. Well, I got batter on this hand. Let me get a tissue to wipe that. Shake it around a little bit to evenly distribute the batter. Pound it a little bit and get the air bubbles out. It says 33 to 36 minutes at 350. So here we go. Okay, timer went off. Let's check the cake. I'll bring you closer. Let me get my cake tested. Stick it in the center. Oh, came out clean. Turn the oven off. Oops, that's wrong. And what I forgot to do with the other cake, get it off of that hot cookie sheet, and get it up in this little stand. The stand goes with actually one of my Ninja Foodies, but it's perfect too when you're cooling a cake. So, bring it here so you can see it better. Let's hope it don't start falling. It's 3:47 on Saturday. I want to cool it for at least 10 minutes before I turn it over. So I'll be back when it's time to turn it over. Okay, let's flip it. Look at that. It didn't sink that much. A little crack in there, but love it. Okay. Oops, I'm gonna move that out of the way. Okay. There it is. Here's this. Just a little bit of stick in there, but the rest not bad at all. And that, family, is a beautiful bundt cake. I'm going to let it cool for at least an hour and I'll frost it. Be back. Okay, let's ice this, but first I'm going to do our holes. Got to poke holes in there. stir this up a little bit. I used a little bit of this on a different cake, but I think this will be enough to pour in here. Let's see, we'll need to move that over a little bit. Okay, here we go. And we're going to use that little blue spatula to cover the holes. Parts of the cake we didn't get frosting on. Because again, I've said it before and I'll always say it, I'm not a cake froster. I don't know how to frost or ice a cake. I need to take a class on it or maybe watch some YouTube videos to learn how to do it. But this is so easy to do it this way. Just going around, covering up any of the cake that doesn't have the frosting on it. And you have to work kind of fast because as the frosting cools, it'll become thick and, you know, kind of hard to maneuver. Okay, that was quick and easy. We got a little bit right there. And my sister loves how the frosting pools in the center. She'll even take some of it out and put it on cookies that my brother bakes for her. And I think, let me pick it up and turn it all the way around. I think we got it all covered. I always say that and then I find some areas that need some help. Oh yeah, there's a big gap there. How did I not see that? Okay. There's the cake, family. I'll bring you up and do a thumbnail. There it is. Okay, family, here's the cake. The Duncan Hines yellow cake with chocolate frosting. And you can see here where I poked a hole, some of the frosting went down into the cake. And you see how moist it is. Yeah, that's good. Tastes just like the cake my mother used to make for us as kids. Wow, brings back memories. This is a winner. Thanks for watching, YouTube family. Appreciate you, love you all. And I'll see you in the next video. Happy baking with Buffy. Bye for now. Welcome to Buffy's Flavorful Journey. Today I'm going to show you how to turn a cake mix into the best cake ever. Now, kind of starting at the end, coming back, I'm showing you the final product here. Getting ready to flip it out. Just showing you that's the top of the cake. It's fully baked. Now let's flip it out. And let's pray that it's going to come out in one piece, which I know it will. Voila! Look at that. It's a beautiful cake. Beautiful. a masterpiece. See, there's just a little bit stuck around there at the top of the bun pan, but otherwise came out pretty clean. What more can you ask for when you're making a bun cake? And here we are making the Duncan Hines Perfectly Moist Lemon Supreme cake. Now this is the box cake mix, and here's the ingredients that it asks you to use, but we're gonna Buffetize this. So we're not gonna use that. Good. And there it is as far as time for baking. So let's go ahead and get started. There's the cake mix. I'm gonna dump it into my KA, the whole bag. Next up is a 3.4 ounce box of lemon jello pudding, and you can use the instant or the cook and serve. I usually use the instant. Dump that in there as well. And this is a 5-quart KA mixer. Now add 1 cup of milk. It's at room temperature instead of the 1 cup of water that the box cake mix asks for. That's the first swap. Gonna add 2 tablespoons of vanilla. Shake it up before you use it. Almost forgot to do that. And this vanilla comes from Costco. I love this vanilla. It's about $17 a bottle. But that's well worth it because vanilla is not cheap. And this is not imitation. This is pure vanilla extract. So there goes those 2 tablespoons. Now the mix doesn't ask for that, but I add it. There's the corresponding frosting. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of that to the mix as well. Now this is something I saw on TikTok. This lady did that and she says it makes your cakes awesome, and I must agree. It gives that little flavor. Getting it all off that spoon there. Now this is creme bouquet. Donna at Beautiful Creations 2, her web, or not website, but YouTube channel, she talks about this, so I use it. Also Chef Jeffrey uses it too. I use about a capful. I don't really measure, I just pour it in there. Here's another swap. 6 large eggs. The mix calls for 3 eggs. I add 6. The extra eggs will make your cake richer and moister tasting, along with the milk instead of water. And I tap my eggs on the counter. I found that they crack a lot better that way, and less chance of getting eggshells in your batter. Now one thing I have started doing is I crack my eggs in a separate container, just in case they're bad, and you don't want that to go in your batter, to ruin your batter. These last 2 were a little stuck to the carton, as you can see there. And the last one is even more stuck. But you work around when you're in the kitchen sometimes. Now this last egg, like I said, is really stuck in there. So I had to improvise a little bit because I couldn't get it to come up out of the carton. So I held the other eggshells down and poured it in. Sorry about my big head. Growing up, my father said I had a big cabbage head. So sorry it got in the camera there. Had to go get a towel to kind of tidy up from the eggs. 2 sticks of melted unsalted butter. On the mix, on the box, it says half a cup of oil. The other swap is to double the amount of fat. In this case, I use melted butter instead of the oil. So instead of half a cup, I use 1 cup, which is 2 sticks. Now you want to mix your eggs in first before adding the butter because it's, you know, warm, maybe even hot because you melted it. And if you put it in there right after the eggs or with the eggs, it may cook your eggs. Don't ask me how I know that. But trust me, mix your eggs in there. Make sure they're well combined. Then add that warm melted butter. And for me, I usually add that melted butter as the last ingredient. Now it's just a matter of getting all that butter in there, mixing it really well. And you'll see that I'll stop it and try to mix around on the sides, stir it up a little bit, especially in the bottom, to make sure I'm getting everything mixed in there. Stand mixers are a wonderful thing, but you do need to stop and make sure you're getting everything incorporated in there. And you don't want to overmix, because if you overmix, you'll end up with a really tough, dense cake. I think in the cake mix it says mix for like 2 minutes. When I first started baking, I would actually put a timer on my phone and time myself. Now, Baker's Joy, that is my go-to. Instead of using oil and flour or butter and flour, all you need is Baker's Joy, because it's got the oil and the flour in there. And the bundt pan I'm using, and I'll put a link in the description, it's a Nordic ware. And it's a lightweight bundt pan. And I'll tell you what, first time I used it, I was a little concerned and like, this isn't going to do the trick. But I love Nordic ware bundt pans. You see it's almost white because I sprayed so much in there. And then I take a tissue and wipe around the rim. Any excess spray, I wipe it off. My trash can was right there. I just threw it in the trash can. I like having my trash can next to me and open, so as I'm cooking or baking, any trash I have, I just throw it away. Now I want to move everything out of the way. I have unplugged the mixer. You never want to be handling anything with the mixer once I'm done mixing everything and it still be plugged in. Now it's just a matter of pouring the batter in, and I kind of turn my bundt pan around a little bit to make it a little easier to get it in there, the batter in there. Turning it again. I try to get it evenly dispersed in the bundt pan. And then I'm trying to get all the batter out of there. There we go. Wipe my hands a little bit. And you fill your bundt pan up to no more than 3/4 full, and then you shake it like I'm doing here on the counter. That helps get out any air bubbles in your batter. Now this is an old cookie sheet that I don't cook on any food, but I will put my cake pans on there in case it overflows. I had one overflow once in the oven and it was a hot mess. Now here's the cake. It's fully cooked and it's sitting on a little stainless steel rack. It actually came with my Ninja Foodie pressure cooker, and I use it when I'm cooling off my cakes. Here's my cake tester. I love this thing. Instead of using toothpicks, I use this. And you test your cakes in the center. There it went in. A little blurry there, but it came out clean. Another way to tell when your cakes are done is it's pulling away from the sides. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Now we're gonna flip it out. I usually take it out of the oven, let it sit on that rack for like 15 to 20 minutes. And then I let it flip it out like I'm getting ready to do now. Then I'll let it sit for about an hour before I frost it. Now let's pull away and see what we got. And there it is. That is a pretty cake. And this cake pan that I'm using, it all came with the Nordic ware bundt pan. Work of art. There's nothing as satisfying as making a bundt. And it comes out pretty clean, except for a little bit on the top. And it's just a beautiful picture. Now I've cleaned it, and you see how easy it was to clean up and how clean I got it? Thanks to that Baker's Joy. showing you the bottom of it. And that it's lightweight, like I said earlier. And this is the cake keeper that came with the bundt pan. I have several of these. I think I have like 4 sets. And this is another one I have. I think the bundt pan that came with this was actually blue. The one that came with this white set that I'm using today is that like bronze golden color. Now, here's my frosting. It's corresponding frosting that goes with the cake mix from Duncan Hines. When I use cakes from the box mix, I use Duncan Hines. That's my little spatula to help me frost. I'm gonna tell you something. I cannot ice or frost a cake worth anything, so I'm just giving you fair warning. This is a plastic chopstick that I bought, and I like to use the fatter end. That's actually the end that you hold. I poke holes in my bundt cakes because I want the frosting to get down in there, add more flavor, and it gets it even more moist. So you can see I'm going all the way around, poking holes in it. Now you don't have to do this step. It's just something I do because I like it and my family likes it when the frosting gets down in the cake. Then I go on the inside of it. Then I'm going to go on the outside again, lower section. And again, poking these holes is not a necessary step. It's just something that I do. Just showing you that, it's all the holes that are poked in there. And it's still a beautiful cake. Now, my frosting, of course, you're going to take that aluminum foil wrapper that's, when you take the red lid off, there's that wrapper, aluminum foil, you take that off. And I had it in the microwave because, it was solid, so now it's a liquid, so I can pour it. I want to make it pourable. This is another hack that I saw on TikTok. A young man was making a cake for his wife. He had never made a cake before, and he's like me, doesn't know how to frost or ice the cake. So he said, I wonder if I nuke it and make it pourable, what will that do? And that blew my mind when I saw him do that. But because it works. So here I am pouring it around. And I got this one, I think, a little bit too liquidy, but it's still going to turn out really good. And I'm trying to get as much of the cake coated with the frosting as I'm pouring it as possible. And then I'm going to use that cake froster spatula that I showed you sitting over there on the red lid to move the frosting around a little bit. I just want to get everything out of there. Now, I have noticed that when I put my frosting in the microwave to make it pourable or liquidy, the volume increases. And I've heard that if you put your frosting out of the jar in your KA and mix it up, that'll also increase the volume. So that's another step or technique you can use. I've not used that yet because I'm lazy. I like using the microwave. Besides, once I get the cake in the oven, I clean up my mixer, the attachment and all that. As you can see, it's already cleaned and put away there. Now I'm just going to take my spatula and go around, and any spots that I see that the icing didn't hit on the cake, I'm going to make sure that I get icing on it. And I'm using the word icing and frosting interchangeable. Now, anybody out there who's a really good person that can frost or ice a cake, give me some hints, some tips, something. Or if there's a book you recommend, or even a YouTube video or channel, let me know, because I would love to learn how to properly frost a cake. But until then, this is what I do. Now I'm going in to make sure that I'm covering up the holes and making sure that the inside of the cake, and see how the frosting has settled in the middle there. I'm bringing it up. I'm covering up the holes. Now I know this looks crazy and you're thinking probably, oh man, this is a horrible frosting or icing job. And it is, don't get me wrong, but the end result's going to be beautiful. Now I'm just taking excess icing, covering up the holes a little bit and making sure that it's getting down actually in the holes and thus inside the cake. And this is how I do all of my bundt cakes. And even when I do a layer cake, I do the same with, you know, this technique of melting the frosting in the microwave and pouring it over. That sounded like a little cat, didn't it? That's the cake tray as I'm turning it. Now I know some of you may ask, you know, why didn't I use lemon flavor when I put the vanilla in there? I've done that before and it made it too lemony. Is that a word? I don't know. You know, too tart. So then I tried 2 tablespoons of vanilla instead of 2 tablespoons of lemon, and that was the trick. I keep saying that one day I'm going to try doing 1 tablespoon of each. 1 tablespoon lemon, 1 tablespoon vanilla, but I haven't tried it yet. Now presentation matters, so any excess icing there I'm wiping up with a towel. I'm serving this to my siblings, but I want it to look nice. And I take pride in my product, so that's why I'm wiping it up. Also, you don't want the lid to get any excess icing, because then it'll be a mess on the lid. Okay, here's the finished product. I know all of you out there who really know how to frost or ice the cake, you're thinking it looks like a hot mess. Me personally, I would eat that in a minute. And here it is with the lid on it, just showing you what it looks like. And here it is, getting ready to take a bite of it. You can look at it and tell how moist it is. See how the fork went in there? It's so moist. And this tasted so good. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Now, let's make some Betty Crocker gingerbread cookies. I'm making 2 batches. 1 stick of butter, 1 tablespoon water, 1 egg. A bit more water. Got my eggs. Here's the butter. And I found these at Target. And I decided to try them because I've used the Betty Crocker sugar cookies and peanut butter cookies, and they turned out really well. Notice I needed to preheat the oven to 375, not 350, so I had to go change it. Okay, and it says you can put everything in here, so 1 tablespoon of water. Oops, we need 2, because we're doing 2 bags. 1, 2. I am gonna add some vanilla, because that's what I do. I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons. I need to try this out. The mix smells good. Okay. And now the eggs. The eggs are at room temperature. And the butter is softened. It's been sitting out. It's supposed to be softened, not melted. Cut it up in cubes. Make it easier to mix in. Instead of one big block. Says stir until blended. Should have used the spatula. This cookie dough smells so good. Still see a little bit of butter that needs to be blended. But again, this cookie dough smells so good. Wash these first. And unfortunately for me, this dough has to be rolled out. I hate rolling out dough, but Betty Crocker took all the other steps out of the equation for me. So I guess I can roll out some dough. Lightly flour the surface. I'm going to wipe this down again. Damp towel. Let's roll this out. This dough is very soft, not too sticky, so it hasn't been too much of a pain to roll out. I still don't like rolling out dough though. It says to bake 8 to 10 minutes or until the edges are set, and it's at 375. So I'm going to put these in there, but I'm going to set it for 8 minutes and we'll see how it goes. Anyone that rolls dough on a regular for a living, I admire you. Now we're going to make sweet potato pies. I baked 4 medium to large sweet potatoes. I'm going to peel them. We're also going to add probably a couple sticks of butter, some eggs, lemon extract, vanilla extract. I don't know if I showed it, but the eggs, nutmeg, and cinnamon. So I'll be back after I've peeled the potatoes and I'll have them in the mixing bowl. Okay, we're back. Got the potatoes in here. I mashed them a little bit. Got a bowl of water. And what I'm going to do is use a handheld mixer, mix these together, try to get the strings out. Then I'll dip them in this water, the attachments on the handheld mixer. And we'll do that a few times to get as many strings out as we can. needed a deeper bowl of water. I got my sugar in it. I don't want to dirty up another bowl. See how many strings we got in there already? And these really aren't that bad. A trick my mother told me years ago is if you get big potatoes, there's usually not that many strings in them. I think I'm gonna do it one more time because any strings that are left, they're broken up now with all this mixing. Now that trick on using the mixer, handheld mixer to get the strings out, is something I saw on Grandma Gloria's YouTube channel when she made her sweet potato pies. And then my little brother was telling me her mother used to do that too. So now we're gonna, here's the batter after I got those strings out. We're going to mix up the batter. And I'm going to be using, I have Grandma Gloria's recipe and I have my mother's recipe, and they're pretty much the same. So we're going to follow that. They both call for 4 eggs. So let's do our 4 large eggs. One recipe says 1 tablespoon of the vanilla and the lemon, and the other says a tablespoon and teaspoon. I'm going to do a tablespoon of each. Here's the lemon, because these were good sized potatoes. And always shake up your flavor and any kind of seasonings before you use it to redistribute the contents. Here's the vanilla. I'll do the cinnamon. One says 1 teaspoon, one says half a teaspoon. And both say 1 teaspoon nutmeg. I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Oh, that was nutmeg, sorry. A teaspoon of nutmeg. Here's my cinnamon. And it says 1.5 sticks of butter, or 1 stick of butter. So let's start with 1.5 and see what happens. And this is room temperature butter, but I'm still going to cut it up into squares. That'll help it combine more. The potatoes were baked and cooled before being mashed. There's 1 stick that's cut up. There's another 1/2 stick. So we have everything in there. Just need to mix it up. Except for the sugar. Forgot the sugar. Got to add the sugar. I'm gonna start with 1 cup. I have 2 cups in this bowl. I should have melted the butter, but it's gonna be okay. It's not too much of it left. Let's do a little taste test. It's not sweet enough. So I'm gonna add that other cup. Definitely was not sweet enough. Something Grandma Gloria said in her video is that your batter should look like ice cream when it's ready. That's the consistency you're going for. Let's do another test. some more sugar. I'm gonna put about half a cup more. I think it needs the other. So that's 3 cups total. Now for me, the 3 cups, that makes it sweet enough. But I gotta let my little brother taste it, because he's the sweet potato pie aficionado of the family. You know what I forgot? The meal nut. So I'm gonna add that before my little brother comes to taste it. Mix it up a little bit so that it doesn't splash around. The meal nut is something my mother added. So my mother's recipe calls for brown sugar, and I overlooked it. I didn't know that, but thankfully my little brother's here. He remembered. So this has 3 cups of white sugar, half a cup of packed light brown sugar, and that was the trick. I'm going to put the batter in the fridge for now. I'm either going to bake the pies today or tomorrow, and they'll be ready for Thanksgiving. We're actually having Thanksgiving on Wednesday because my little brother has to work on Thanksgiving Day on Thursday. Time to make the sweet potato pies. Nice Pillsbury English crust. Hello everyone, let's make some semi-homemade peanut butter chocolate chip cookies using the Betty Crocker's peanut butter cookie mix. We're going to double this recipe because we're going to use 2 pouches of the Betty Crocker peanut butter cookie mix. And I bought these at Sam's Club. You get, I think it's 5 pouches in there, and each pouch will make 22 regular size cookies. But I use an extra large scoop, so I didn't get that many. Here I am putting in the second bag of the mix. Making sure I get everything out of there. The instructions call for 1 tablespoon of water per bag of mix, so I'm using 2 because I'm doubling this. It also calls for 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil per pouch, so we're going to be adding 6 tablespoons. There's 3. And this is number 6. Now it doesn't call for vanilla, but I like to use it to add a little flavor. And I always shake it up before I use it, in case any of the contents have settled. And I'm using 2 tablespoons per pack of cookie mix, so I put in a total of 4 tablespoons of vanilla. Now again, that's just something I add that's not on the instructions for the pack. The package instructions do call for 1 egg per pack. So again, since we're doubling, we're going to put 2 large eggs. And this is a quick and easy way to make peanut butter cookies because you put everything in there, mix it up, and then you can bake them. Now speeding up the video, see the mixing going on, scraping everything down and off the mixer to make sure everything is getting combined. That's the Hershey chocolate bars. There were 6 of them and I just broke them up by hand into pieces, adding that to the mixing bowl. And whenever I use chocolate chips, I add the Hershey candy bars. Now here's the Nestle milk chocolate chips. I use milk chocolate. I do not use semi-sweet because it's bitter chocolate. And I didn't measure this, but I would guess it was about a cup of the milk chocolate chips. Now we just need to mix that a little bit. You don't want to mix it too much because that'll make your mix-ins turn into crumbs. Just enough to get it incorporated so that you get some chocolate on each scoop of cookie. Of course, you don't have to use the mixer for this part. When you put the mix-ins, you can just mix it by hand with the spatula. Now on this day, I made 2 different kinds of peanut butter cookies with the Betty Crocker cookie mix. One, I added Reese's peanut butter cups, and then this one I added the chocolate chips and the chocolate bars. And that was me putting 2 of each and baking them. Now I'm putting all the mix. This is the chocolate chip. I'm going to put also the peanut butter with the Reese's peanut butter cups, and I'm going to flash freeze them in the freezer for at least an hour. Once you do that, you can then freeze your cookie dough in your freezer, and whenever you have a taste for fresh baked cookies, just go in the freezer, pop them in the oven. And you can see my cookies are larger than the normal size cookie. That's why I don't get the 22, which the package tells you get for each pack. Now these are going into the freezer for at least an hour. Here's the 4 that we baked. They cook for 14 minutes at 350. Now the cookie dough has been in the freezer for at least an hour. This is the peanut butter chocolate chips. And these are the peanut butter cookies with the Reese's chocolate candy bars in them. And here's both bags. On the labels I'll put the date that I made them and cooking instructions, and as well as the name of the cookie. And here's the empty cookie tray. My siblings ate those 4 cookies and said they were really good. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.